Graphing compound inequalities can be super simple if we remember exactly how to do it. So today we're going to do a little bit of review to remind ourselves of how to do this so that we can do some practice problems. So when we are graphing compound inequalities, there are two parts that need to be graphed. The first thing you guys are going to need to do is to graph the two pieces above the number line. So we're going to graph the two pieces above the number line. Then depending on which category you're in, if it's an and, remember we're going to copy the sandwiched part onto the number line. So that'll be everything that's in between the two numbers. So that's going to work if we happen to be in the case of and. So that's for an and. For an or, we are going to copy the whole thing, which in this case, if you remind yourselves, we said that this is when it was divorced or going in opposite directions. So I've got a couple of examples. So in this particular case, we have a problem which is an or. So we're going to take this part right here, x is greater than 3, and we're going to graph that above the line. Then we're going to take this part over here, whoops, x is less than -3, and we're going to graph that above the line. The rule is we are going to transfer onto the line everything that's covered. So this stuff all down here is covered, and this stuff all up here is covered. And notice it was an or, so we expected things to be divorced, and that's exactly what we ended up with. Now we have a problem that has an and in it, so we are expecting our answer to be sandwiched in between these two numbers. So if we graph this piece, x is less than or equal to 8, that's going to be everything over here. The other piece is x is greater than or equal to -2. That's going to give us all of this, and then we're going to graph everything where they overlap each other. So they overlap each other from here all the way over to here. So my answer is sandwiched in between. Our last problem as part of this review sometimes freaks people out just because they don't remember this as much. But when we have two statements hooked together, the way this one is currently hooked together, so both of these things connected with one x, that means that this is an and problem. So what this is telling us is x is between -3, notice I have an open circle because I'm not equal to the -3, and 9, once again open circle. X can be all these numbers in between. So our answer is sandwiched in between. This is the only case where you don't have to graph it above the line first. You can just go right on to your number line with your answer.